Before I got into Canada, I was able to interview with 4 different companies from back home in Nigeria. Within 1 month of relocating to Canada, I was able to land a job in my professional field during COVID times. Now, I know that time and chance have a role to play, but we cannot disregard or discount the place of adopting the right job search strategies. My name is Faith. I'm an HR professional based in Toronto, Canada, and in this video, I will be helping you on your way to landing a job in Canada. Let's roll. So Canada is a land of opportunities. There are so many opportunities, but the competition is very stiff, which is why you need to be very strategic about how you search for a job. Now imagine this. You are competing with so many people. You're competing with immigrants from different countries like yourself. You're also competing with the Canadians themselves for the available jobs. Now picture this. Every year, Canada has over 300,000 immigrants coming into the country. Of those 300,000 immigrants, 67% of them are economic immigrants, like, the PR holders and all of that. Ontario, for example, Ontario has the highest number of immigrants every year. Data that was, from July 2019 to June 2020 shows that of the immigrants that come into the country, 45% of them relocate to Ontario. A distant second is British Columbia at 16%. So you can see it's quite a gap. So more of the jobs are in Ontario, yes, but the competition is also stiffer in Ontario. So before you start that job search, you want to take note of a couple of things, which I will be mentioning now. So as a job seeker, one of the first things you want to do is you want to look at your industry and determine the subsection of that industry that you would like to play in. The next thing you also want to do is you want to look across industries. Now, in terms of the first point, for example, if you are in IT is like the big umbrella. But under IT, there are different subsections, there are different jobs. So do you want to be a solution architect? You want to be a coding specialist? Do you want to be a programmer? So those are some of the things that you want to consider. If you are, for example, in human resources, there are different sections. Do you want to be a compensation and benefits specialist? Do you want to be an HRI specialist? Or do you want to be in talent management? So those are some of the things that you want to consider, because Canada is a country of specialization. So when these jobs are placed, when you see job ads, there are different things. It might not just be IT as a whole. It might be different jobs. So you don't want to miss out on those jobs. Now, in terms of the second point, which is looking across industries, take, for example, a construction project manager. Now, the construction project manager will typically be looking for roles within, construction or companies, construction companies or project management companies. But you need to look across other industries. For example, say a Walmart, that is a retail outlet. Now, Walmart has different branches all over Canada, for example. And now with those different branches, different structures, right? So these structures, of course, are prone to dilapidation, right? So they would need project managers, or, they would also even need to build new structures. So while you as a construction project manager may not be thinking of Walmart because you're like, no, that's not my industry. But there is actually a role for you to play there. So, this is just an example of how you can play across different industries, with your role. So this is one thing that you definitely need to consider while looking for a job. So the next thing you want to do is you want to determine how these jobs play out in the job market. Now, for example, if you are in energy or oil and gas, you want to go to provinces like Alberta, because that's where you have an influx of those jobs, right, that are meant for you. If you're, for example, in construction, and maybe your specialization is high-rise buildings, you want to be in places where they actually build these high-rise buildings, say Ontario or British Columbia, because that is where these jobs are. You just need to be close to the market, or at least in the province where there's an influx of these jobs. You also need to understand peak periods and off-peak periods. Now, I have a friend who is a project manager. She came in November, but she didn't get a job until like the summer of the following year. And that's because during the winter, at least, well, towards the end of fall and the beginning of spring, most construction projects are closed because people are not building during the winter for the most part. So while some people might be able to get a job during that period, but that is definitely not the peak period. So you want to understand that, because that way, at least, you are well on your way to, getting a job. The next thing you now want to do is, after you have done all your research in terms of the industry and how these roles play out, is you want to format your resume to the Canadian style. Now, this is a broad subject, and I'll be doing another video on this because, when I was trying to even search for a job myself, I tried to look up videos on, the Canadian resume. I didn't see so much. I saw a couple, which is why I'm going to be doing a video to explain this, and I'll be going through the different sections of the Canadian resume. But for the purpose of this video, of course, you want to format your resume to the Canadian style, because once your resume is off, you are off the table. And I can tell you, as a human resource professional, that is one thing that you need to take your time to do. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to go and update your LinkedIn profile. Now, I'm saying update your LinkedIn profile under the assumption that you actually have a LinkedIn profile, because some people don't. And then you say you are looking for work and you don't have a LinkedIn profile. How is that going to work? So, first things first, have a LinkedIn profile. Update your LinkedIn profile. Please use a professional picture. Don't use a pic. This is not a dating app. It is a professional environment. Don't use a picture that, when a recruiter sees it, they want to swipe right because, the picture is looking like a Tinder looking profile picture. You don't want that. You want to have a professional picture, not a selfie. Save the selfies for Instagram or Twitter and the other places. The first thing that I, as a recruiter, would see when I, type your name in LinkedIn is your profile picture, and you want that to, speak to me already and show to me that you're a serious person. Now, when structuring your LinkedIn profile, you want to ensure that you build consistency between your LinkedIn profile and your resume. Now, what am I saying? For example, if in HR, for example, I'll keep using HR because that's my industry, and yeah, I'm quite knowledgeable about that one. In HR, for example, yes, maybe you were a generalist back home, but then you want to, be specific. So if it's recruitment that you want to play in now, you want to put recruiter at XX company. Same thing on your LinkedIn profile and on your resume. Don't just say HR generalist, or if you were in compensation, then put compensation analyst at this. That is how you want to structure your LinkedIn profile, because it gives the recruiter the impression that, if you just put everything, if you just lump it up, it gives the impression that you are wide and not deep. And we need deep people to do the job. If you worked in an organization for 5 years, for example, and then you got promoted twice, you also want to spell it out. Now, I say you worked in KPMG and then you were an associate and then you were promoted to senior associate. You want to be able to, break it down in LinkedIn. Don't just lump it up, because as a human resource professional, when I see your LinkedIn profile, if I see that you got promoted, in the company, in your previous company, it gives me a good sense of who you are. At least for you to have, merited a promotion in your previous company, it means that, for the most part, you are a serious person. And I would be drawn to that kind of candidate, other than someone that, just puts 5 years and you're in the same role. So if you know that you had promotions at any point, make sure that you spell it out. Also, you want to ensure that the dates are spot on. If it was from April 2012 to July of 2015, it must be the same both on LinkedIn and in your resume. Just ensure that that consistency is there. So LinkedIn is definitely a good resource. It's something that you must have if you are a job seeker, and make sure that everything is professional. Look for people within your industry. Say I'm a project manager or something. I will be looking for someone else. I can just go in LinkedIn, type project manager Canada. You would see other people's profiles, people that are already here that are working as project managers here. You want to also, mimic their profiles, because you want to try and use the same language, because there are different terms that maybe you were using back in your home country that are different from what what is used in Canada. So you want to make sure that those terms are also in your LinkedIn profile so that I, as an HR professional, would not spot the difference. You want to make sure that everything is seamless. I look at your profile, you look like someone that is here, you look like someone that is ready for a job. Now, the next thing you want to do is network. I cannot overemphasize this one. Networking is like the gateway here, is the key to so many things here in Canada. Most companies have an employee referral program. And why is that? They have this because, referring employees or employee referrals are like the preferred way of hiring candidates here. So you want to be able to network. There are different avenues. You can go on LinkedIn. You can go and search out, recruiters. If you are in a space where I'm not talking about like maybe medicine or lawyers, because those are really, really specialized jobs and really, really specialized professions. So maybe recruiters are not really the way there. But if you're in maybe say IT, HR, construction and project management, things like that, marketing, customer service, you can network with people. People are very nice here. You can chat someone up and, oh, I would like to have coffee with you and all that. They are open to things like that. Fine, COVID has put a hold on some of those things, but post-COVID and pre-COVID, people would easily just tell you, oh, okay, let's have coffee at so place, and then they would sit down with you and give you tips. You also don't want to sound desperate, right? You don't want to just chat someone up and then the next thing you're saying is, hi, I'm Faith and I want a job. Uncle, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that anywhere. You don't want to sound desperate because you want to give the impression that, okay, yes, I'm serious. Don't just come out. We know that, yes, you're looking for a job, but don't just come out and just, that's like the first thing. Your intro line is looking for a job. It's not going to work. So networking is very key. There's so many ways you can do it. Network across industries. Okay. Like the example I gave earlier of, the person in construction that is working in Walmart. Network across industries. If you also worked in maybe a multinational, that's even good for you. Say I worked in a KPMG. I would also be trying to reach out to employees of KPMG in Canada here. If you were in audit, just look for someone in audit and then chat the person up and, strike a conversation. That is the way to go. That is the way you network. That is the way you build, relationships. You would also want to be looking at their competitors as well. If I worked in, say, Unilever in Nigeria, I would be looking at, maybe Nestle or, one of those other FMCGs. That is the way you network. That is the way you can build a strong relationship with these people. Because at the end of the day, you are looking for a job. And once these people know you and at least to an extent are comfortable with your capability, they will be able to refer you to their companies. Leverage on your friends back home as well. Of course, they might not be able to help you because they're still back home in the country, right? But they would have friends or colleagues who have also relocated at some point. And those are the people that they can connect you with. I cannot, for example, overemphasize the need to network. There are also some other agencies. I will be linking them in the description box, so I'll be linking them below. But there are different agencies. There's Access Employment. They have this Triac mentorship program that is very, very good. They will pair you with a mentor, who is also in your field, and the person can just, guide you through and give you tips and advice till, you get it. Even post you get a job, right? So there are so many ways to network. There's Eventbrite. You can go on there and just search maybe like job fairs or job fairs in Ontario, for example. And it will pop up and you'll be able to attend some of these events. So just make sure you network. It works. It's one of the fastest ways to get a job here in Canada. So you're done with your preparation and all of that. Now you want to look for the actual job. One thing you need to understand is that looking for a job is a job in itself. Take it as such. The other thing you need to understand is do not throw your resume everywhere. It is counterproductive. Only apply to jobs that you think are better suited for you. Look at the company, look at the role, tailor your resume to that particular job ad. I'm going to be doing a separate video on how you can tailor your resume because it's quite a broad subject, and I'm going to be touching on a few areas there. So that's something that you definitely want to do. Now, in looking for the job, go to job ads, job boards, I mean. I'm not affiliated with any job, but I can tell you for free that indeed.ca is a very good resource. There are others out there. You can use LinkedIn, you can use Glassdoor, but Indeed is a very good one because it pulls from different other job boards. So for the most part, you will find most of the jobs on indeed.ca. Make sure you subscribe to it so that you will be among the first to know when a job is posted. You'll get a notification on your device and you'll be able to apply. As an HR person, I can tell you that once I post a job and then I see that applications or CVs have started tripping in, I will just go in and pick like a batch, which is the first batch, and then I'll start to sift through. So you want to be among that first batch. You want to apply early once you see a job. Now, I'm not saying that, if 200 people or 1,000 people have applied for a job, you don't go ahead and apply. By all means, go ahead and apply. But of course, like I said, just in terms of improving your chances, you want to be one of the first in that batch. Also, look at companies, target companies, go to their website directly and apply. Because Indeed is great and all, but if the jobs are not posted, it might not be able to pull all of the jobs that are from the company's website. But if you go into the company's website and then you go to their careers page and you search out their jobs and apply directly, I think that's a good way to go about it. So that's definitely something that you want to consider. You can apply for jobs before you even get into Canada. A month, 2 months, 3 months before you come into Canada, you can try that out. A lot of people have been successful at those, but I tried it out and it didn't work for me. But you can give it a shot. But one thing you need to note as well is that you need to be reachable because the recruiters may try to reach you on an actual phone number. So you want to get like a virtual phone number that works. There are so many virtual phone apps, so you can look one up and just try to get that. So if it's something that you want to try, please by all means give it a shot and you just might be lucky. Now, another thing is, depending on what plans you've made out for yourself, you can think about it, give yourself a timeline. Once you come into the country, you can say, in next 3 months, I want to try and get a job in my field. If that doesn't work out, after 3 months, you might want to get a survival job. Now, survival jobs, in my opinion, I think that if you're looking for a survival job, you should be looking for a survival job that when push comes to shove, you can still put it on your resume. You can tweak it and still put it on your resume. For example, the more popular ones are the customer service jobs. If I'm an accountant, for example, and I want to get a survival job, I'll be looking for a survival job in maybe the banks or something, or a financial institution. That way, once I get in, if a job, if an accountant role is posted, I will be one of the first to know, and it will be easier for me to get in because I already work in that company, albeit as a customer service rep, but at least I will be, be considered. And as a human resource professional, I will definitely hire you first before I start looking out there because you actually do have the qualifications, and since you've been working in that company, you are already accustomed to the culture, so you will definitely be someone that I will be looking out for. Now, looking for a job, like I said, can be quite tedious. A lot of things go into it. Sometimes, people get tired, but don't be weary, just keep at it. In the end, try not to look at people. Your race is different. Everybody's journey is different when it comes to getting a job. Some people are lucky, they get jobs early. Some, it takes maybe a year or a couple of months. But don't be weary, just keep doing the right things. There's no trophy for getting a job first. Just be consistent, keep doing the right things, keep applying, and a job will come eventually. In the end, it's not about how far, but how well. I'll see you on my next video.